Hi all, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to Elliott Wave News channel by wavesstrategy.com. And we can clearly see what is happening in Nifty. It has been all over the places. Price have been showing a sharp reversal from the zone of 10,930. In today's webinar, I am going to discuss about the pattern which is under formation as per advanced Elliott Wave, which is Neo Wave method, and what is that pattern suggesting. Also, if we combine this pattern along with the wave, along with the time cycles, it helps us to get some kind of an insight into where do we expect the overall break to happen. And right now, if you look at the markets, from 10,920, 930 zone, we have reversed again for the fourth or the fifth time, and price have failed to go above that. From there, again, Nifty showed a very sharp reversal, came to as low as 10,630 on the downside in the in the sessions today and yesterday. And from there, we saw some kind of a positive reversal on the upside again. This time, however, it was little different because the stocks in the broader market did not collapse the way overall indices did. Even when we are seeing a very sharp fall in the US markets, in the Nikkei markets, so the developed economies are showing very, very weak structures. At the same time, in India, we are seeing some kind of a positive attempt on the upside. This only hints towards the fact that there can be few more days of an up move, and it will be sooner rather than later. We will try to catch up with the developed economies. This is what has happened in 2008, and this is what looks to be going to be repeated again. However, next 15 days are going to be very crucial because from time cycles perspective, we follow a 55 days time cycle. So whenever the time cycle low is formed, Nifty does not crack. So if we do not crack in next 15 days, then we might not go down immediately. We might again start seeing some kind of a distribution, which is a longer topping process, might occur over next few weeks. So keep an eye on these 15 days. I'll show you on the chart why these 15 days are going to be very important based on the time cycle. If you can see my screen here, this is the chart of Nifty, and Nifty has been all over the place. As I've been talking about, it has been going up towards 10,920, 930, 940 levels. Again came back down sharply on the downside towards 10,300, 350. Again went up towards that strong distribution zone of 10,950. Came down to 10,540, 550 levels, and now again went up to 10,930 and came down to 10,630 levels. So what has happened is, in the initial phase of this pattern, we saw an expansion which is happening. The highs were taken out and the lows were taken out. And in the current phase, we are seeing a contraction which is happening. So an expansion which is followed by a contraction is a typical property of a pattern known as a diametric pattern. This is a pattern which is found in Neo Wave, which is an advanced of Elliott Wave. And as per the diametric pattern, we might be in the final G leg. If you look at the entire structure, I think we have already completed. Wave A was up here. We went down in the form of wave B. Wave C came up. We went down in the form of wave D. E upside again. F, which completed at the lows of, this was below around 10,580, is it? And from there, we went again up towards 10,920 in the form of wave G. So the wave G looks to be still ongoing here, and it is not complete yet, because over here we have not seen a very sharp momentum on the downside like you normally expect. There has been buying emerging in the down move, and Nifty has did not break 10,650 levels. In the morning research report, I mentioned 10 closing below 10,650 is going to be important, because that is the trend line which is connecting the wave B and F. It has just momentarily breached that trend line and again managed to bounce back on the upside. So next week, Monday, is going to be very crucial. If we are able to now crack below the low of today, which is around 10,628, if we break that level sharply and strongly, then yes, we might be heading lower from here itself. In case we do not break that level, there is a possibility of one minor push again on the upside, and then before we turn down. So the topping process takes time, because the time cycles suggest that during the topping phase it's distributed. whereas the lows are synchronized as per time cycle. So when I say lows are synchronized, it is fast, sharp, and very quick. Whereas during the topping, it takes time, the distribution takes time. The other way of looking at it is, it takes more time for greed to dissipate rather than panic. So that's how the difference is. That's why we are seeing corrections, which is currently ongoing in the form of wave B, is taking so much of time after the first leg of fall, which was in the form of wave A. If you look at this classical method, wave A was so sharp and fast, which came on the downside, and look at wave B, we are still retracing only 50% of the entire fall that we have seen in September and October. So far we have not seen any kind of a retracement. It's only the distribution which is ongoing. Now let me talk about the time cycles that I have been discussing about. We are following a very important time cycle, which is a 55-day cycle. If you use that cycle and try to understand the important lows and tops, you will be able to make out that this cycle has formed a very important low on every 54 or the 55 days. So whenever there is a 54, 55 days low which is coming, the cycle has managed to form an important low on the tops. Now we can clearly see here, over here there is a low which is formed, and over here there was a low. Even if it's a minor low, there was a low which is formed, then a low which is formed here, and the next low is going to be due only by the third week of January. So only by then we can start going bullish. Otherwise the entire movement is going to be an overlapping up move, and probably we can expect a downside correction in case the lows of today is taken out very decisively. So Monday movement is going to be very crucial. During such time, if you have to trade, you need to have a very stock specific trades, and not get carried away by leveraging much, because markets are not going to reward you if you leverage much and do not have a very strict stop loss. In case the trend changes, you need to be very quick in changing the stand. In case if you do not change the stand as quickly as the market, then your profitable position might end up being at a loss. So we turned bearish around the zone of 10,780, 800. As soon as the low over here was taken out, market did go down sharply on the downside. It's best to keep profit booking, partial profit booking, and trailing the remaining positions, because by doing that you are taking something off the table, and at the same time, if a bigger trend emerges on the downside, as the global markets are currently synchronized, it's going to result into a very big trend, and I don't want anyone to miss that big trend. Right now we are clearly seeing a strong sell-off happening in the commodity space. We are seeing a strong sell-off even in the US markets. Many have been talking about the oversold indicators, but the markets have continued to correct very sharply on the downside. At the same time, Indian markets have shown some resilience, so there can be some minor push on the upside. Till what level that push might come, you can refer the daily research report, the financial wave short-term update, in which I am going to mention what are the levels we can expect the push to come on the upside. However, over the short-term and intraday basis, we have been generating calls on Nifty, Bank Nifty stocks, which are going amazingly well. Even yesterday we gave Nifty short call, and that went out very, very well, because we have been shorting exactly at the break of the level and then booking profits near the lows, which has been working out very well as of now. This is not very often that we get such high accuracy, but currently the pattern is very clear, and that's why the accuracy is very, very high. You can get access to the intraday and positional advisory by subscribing to our intraday advisory services on wavesstrategy.com. And in case you have any doubts or queries, please post it on the traders forum on the website, and I'll be more than happy to respond back over that. These techniques, in case you would like to learn, I am going to launch a training program which is going to be in first week of April, and in Mumbai, where I am going to talk about time cycles, neo wave, and this time I am also going to cover about Ichimoku, how we can use that in order to time the market more efficiently and to the point, by looking at simply 15-minute chart or even 30-minute chart, and then timing it objectively along with neo wave and time cycles. In case you are interested for registering that, you can always get in touch with us on 99204 22202, and I'll be more than happy to assist you on that. That's it from my side, and next week is going to be a little tricky. You need to be a little careful where you are trading next week. Keep a watch on the levels I have talked about, and act as per the research report which is published every day in the morning. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. See you again same time next week on a Friday.